Rosaries are an important currency in Hollow Knight Silksong, allowing you to purchase useful tools, maps, and more. It's important to get a good stockpile early game for purchasing the essentials, all of which will be covered in this guide. As usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. First, let's cover how to reach and unlock the farming location, starting from Bone Bottom, which is the first major town that we reach after completing the intro section of the game. From there, we'll need to move east into the Marrow Zone, and if you have enough rosaries, you may want to invest in the Magnetite Brooch from the vendor NPC in this town, as it will make farming rosaries a bit easier. In any case, we will need to move through the Marrow, going up and to the east. There are a few shortcuts that we can unlock along the way. Feel free to explore on your own, but for the purpose of this guide, I'm going to take a direct path to the boss chamber. Several enemies will spawn in this chamber, and they will all need to be defeated before we can drop down to a new chamber. There, we can move a short distance west to unlock a gate leading back to Bone Bottom. In any case, we will then need to move east and past an offering bowl that can be interacted with to unlock a fancy bench. We'll need to move further east into the Marrow Zone, then up and to the west where possible. This should take us to a new chamber where there are multiple temporary platforms of which we will need to scale. At the top east corner of this chamber is a path to a new area where we should hear an NPC singing. We'll move west, hitting a small lever where needed to unlock the path forward. We should eventually meet an NPC named Shakra, and this bug will sell us our first few maps and map-making supplies. In order to purchase it all, we will need to farm up some rosaries. Luckily, we are pretty close to the start of a decent farming location, we just need to unlock a couple of shortcuts first. Up and to the west of Shakra is a path to the Moss Home Zone. We'll need to move west along the elevated platform, getting past a couple of pesky projectile shooting bugs. The projectiles can be destroyed with Hornet's attacks. Moving this way will bring us to a lever that we can hit to open up a path below, which we need to go down. We'll then need to move to the east in this new area, staying in the elevated section of it. Past a couple of enemies, we will enter a secluded chamber with a bench that we can rest at. There's also a lever in here that we will hit to open a shortcut back to the map vendor, Shakra. Now let's go over the farming loop for getting rosaries, starting at the bench. Also, if you have the Magnetite Brooch, then now would be a good time to equip it. Starting from this bench, we'll move west into Moss Home, and there are two relatively easy enemies to defeat here, each giving 5 rosaries. We can then drop down to the bottom floor of this area, where there are 3 more enemies to defeat as we move towards the bottom east exit. Once out, it's just a few jumps to loop back around to the bench we started at. We can then rest at the bench and repeat this process as many times as we need in order to get rosaries for early game items. You get 25 rosaries every 30 seconds or so it's not an incredible source of them, but it is a decent enough rate for early game items. In any case, I will definitely be covering Silksong for a while, so if you want to see more great guides, you can head over to my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat, her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day if you're here today, have a great Thursday, and as always, thanks for watching.